Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. In this video, I want to take another look at Stellar Lumens and perhaps map out to you guys where I believe the price of this token could indeed get to during this bull run. It's going to be kind of crazy what we're going to go over, guys. We have previously given you price predictions for Stellar Lumens based on the logarithmic chart and something called the Elliott wave theory, which we are going to revisit. Now, there's a lot of discussions when it comes to Stellar Lumens and specifically mapping out the Elliott wave theory on Stellar Lumens with where exactly we are in this wave-like structure. Where are we? Are we... have we completed the second leg of this wave-like structure and are now entering the third, which is traditionally the biggest wave? Or are we just finished the fourth and now entering the fifth wave? Now, ultimately, on the last video I gave you guys, I'd mapped out the Elliott wave theory, and I'd essentially said that we are currently going through our fourth leg before we then make our fifth and final leg, which we predicted to be the biggest one, and that would have took us to round about $5, anywhere from sort of $3.50 to $5, depending on how you map it out. But I was talking to somebody the other day, and essentially what they were saying was okay, what I want you to do is I want you to map out the Elliott wave theory when it's not on a logarithmic chart. And essentially what you come up with, guys, is you come up with the fact that we are indeed only just now entering our third leg, which in the traditional markets is the biggest leg. In the commodities markets, it's usually the fifth leg that outperforms the third. But what we're going to do is we're just going to take a rough estimate, and we're going to use the first leg, which is traditionally the smallest leg of them all, and we're going to apply that to the third and then the fifth, and we're going to give you a rough price prediction of where that could actually take you. And I do not think, let's throw it out there straight away, you get around about $10 Stellar Lumens. Let's map the waves out. Let's talk about whether this is possible. Let's talk about the actual value proposition that Stellar Lumens has and brings to the table. And of course, if you had a $10 Stellar Lumens, we know the circulating supply. The circulating supply of Stellar Lumens is $50 billion. So if you times that by 10, which is how you would figure out a market cap, that would be a $500 billion market cap. I actually don't think this cycle, I think perhaps you might struggle to get there, but we just don't know, guys. We know that traditionally in bull markets, it's the kind of second half of the year and towards the end of the year, actually, when things get really crazy. And people are looking at this growth that we've seen. This is Bitcoin, just to give you a kind of overview of the market right now. If you go back and look, people are looking at this and going, wow, this looks really dangerous to get into. If you go back to 2017, ladies and gents, you can see that this was just, you had plenty of times when the market looked dangerous to get into. But ultimately we are, and I've said this on numerous occasions, in a 2017 S bull run, and prices are going to do exceptionally well as a result of that. Now, Stellar Lumens is a laggard, which would be another confirming factor to why we are only just now coming out of our second wave and entering our third wave, which perhaps could be the biggest wave of them all. So if we map out the Elliott wave theory, guys, essentially you are now just on your third leg. And what is also convincing me about this is if you look at a more complex Elliott wave theory, what you have is you have Elliott waves within your Elliott waves. That sounds very complicated. It's really not. So you have Elliott wave, simple structure, is a 5-wave pattern that has 2 pullback waves and 3 impulsive waves. Your more complex Elliott wave theory and how you can get more of an accurate an accurate view of where exactly you are in that theory is to look at, well, hang on, have we followed Elliott wave theory so far, and have we actually made smaller Elliott waves within that bigger Elliott wave movement? And you can see, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what's really making me think that we are now just on the third wave, that you have indeed made Elliott wave structure within your Elliott waves. Not only that, we come back and we caress. You can see we wicked right down. I do tell you not to count wicks, but they can be somewhat an indication. I like to go off candle body closes. Wicks is just, you can wick down on a certain exchange for a number of reasons. There could be a liquidity shortage or whatever. But the point I'm trying to make, and we're going to map out roughly how this is going to look, And this is all a rough science, ladies and gentlemen. Do not take this as financial advice. I have actually, my friends and family who I'm constantly talking to about cryptocurrencies, up until literally yesterday, I was telling people, look, there's a real value proposition in Stellar Lumens. People don't, Stellar Lumens is typically a laggard. It shares that kind of a trait with XRP. And if you look at 2017, which we're looking at here, other coins were continuously climbing throughout that year, whereas Stellar did a lot in a little amount of time. And I think this year is going to play out very, very similar. But let's go back to this kind of Elliott wave theory. So you can see you've got your smaller Elliott waves within your bigger Elliott wave structure. And I do now believe that we are, ladies and gentlemen, on our third leg, which is going to see Stellar Lumens, in my opinion, go well over $2, around about that $2.50 mark. And what I want to do, I want to ignore the fact that traditionally, and this, like I say, it is a rough science. Traditionally, your third wave is the biggest. In the stock market, in the commodities market, it's the fifth wave. Let's just take the first wave and the percentages that first wave did and apply that to the third wave and then the fifth wave and see where that gets us. And that's a kind of pessimistic scenario where we're relying on the waves being the same size as the first, even though we do indeed predict that they are going to be bigger than the first wave. So if we take the percentages of the first wave and we apply it to the third wave and then the fifth wave, we'll see roughly where we get to. And of course, this is exact science because the prices haven't made these moves yet. But it's just to give you a kind of overview of where this could actually get to. So if we take the third wave and the percentages that we made, you're looking around about 522%. So if we then apply that, and we're going to have to switch to a logarithmic again to try and apply that, just so that we can get the kind of retail space on the charts. You can see that if we take it from our second wave pullback and we apply it to the third, and remember this is the kind of bearish scenario for it, and we add 520%, you get to around about $2.39. So that's with your third wave. Then of course you will pull back from that in a similar kind of way that we did on the second wave. I hope you guys are following this, and this isn't too technical. I've tried to keep it as kind of untechnical as possible and roughly map it all out for you, because this is what I'm looking at, guys. Let's take around about a 20% correction. It's all rough, ladies and gents. Please don't hold me to account here for any of this. Let's take a 22% correction. That gives us to $1.84. So let's do that, $1.84. The purpose of this video, guys, is to really show you that, let's just do that. And then if we then add the percentages that we made on the first wave to the fifth wave, which I actually think in the crypto space is going to be your biggest and sort of final wave. So we take it from the pullback and we add another 500 and 20% onto this. You can see that you're getting to around about that $11 mark, guys. Now, we spoke about, and then obviously you'll enter your A, B, C correction, however that ends up looking, and wherever that ends up taking us, like we have seen, and that would kind of run concurrent with the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory. I just thought this video might be useful for some of you out there that are kind of trying to map out where this could go to. Now, an $11 XLM price, so a $10 XLM price will give you a $500 billion market cap. Is that possible? I believe so. Do I believe you're going to hit that this year? I think it would be very, very wise to not aim for that price. I think maybe keep some XLM on the table in case it outperforms. But I personally am going to be cashing out my XLM, starting at $3.50 and finishing largely. I will still keep a little bit in just for the kind of future to see where this thing actually ends up. But I'll actually be pretty much mostly cashed out of my XLM at around about $7 XLM price. And ultimately, guys, this is just all a rough science. It doesn't have to happen like this. This is mapping out the Elliott wave theory and not counting this kind of first move here where we're actually just the market turns bullish and saying that, look, we're only on the second wave. We're about to enter that third wave before the fourth and fifth wave. So there's lots of ifs and buts associated with this. But when you talk about Stellar Lumens getting to a $500 billion market cap, you know, when you look at what Stellar Lumens is essentially trying to do, and if they're successful at that, I don't think a $500 billion market cap is out of the realms of possibility. You know, the Forex market in terms of trading volume must do like $8+ trillion a day in terms of volume. Now, Stellar essentially wants to be the transactional tool that is used to transact value in whatever form, whether that's currency, whether that's assets, whatever that is. If they do that, and you do indeed need to hold the Stellar Lumens token in order to actually facilitate those transactions, it's built into their design. A $500 billion Stellar Lumens price, I do not think is out of the realms of possibility, ladies and gentlemen. This market is crazy. In a premature market last year, we saw XRP get to, in 2017, we saw XRP get to like $150 billion or $120 billion, whatever it was. It's not out the realms of possibility to suggest that, it's my personal belief that trillions of dollars are still to flow into this market, that something like Stellar Lumens, if it continues to achieve what it is achieving, and they're giving us good updates on Twitter. Twitter is a useful place, believe it or not, for crypto information. Certainly follow your favorite projects on there and they'll bring you kind of updates, you know. So that's really all I have for you in this video. We just wanted to discuss the possibilities of where this market could get to. It's looking like the market's about to pick up again. You know, Bitcoin's made its kind of correction. It's come down back to this EMA, which we suggested it would do. And ultimately, you know, we think that it's going to play out like this. We have high hopes for Stellar Lumens. Lots of people aren't very on board with it. However, I think this coin has a very promising future, along with a number of other projects in the crypto space. That is all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, do not bank on us hitting that $10. I'm just kind of showing you, giving you a rough kind of guide of, you know, if we do follow the Elliott wave theory, and we do seem to be following it so far, where you could perhaps end up, and, you know, things could get really crazy towards the end of the year, guys. So watch out for that. But like I say, I personally, and I can't tell you guys what to do with your money as I'm not a financial advisor, will indeed be cashing out my Lumens certainly on the way to, and will be largely cashed out of around about $7.50. And in actual fact, in terms of percentage of my holdings, will be significantly, I'll have more cashed out, probably around about 70% cashed out at around about that $5 range. And that's because I've been in this project since it was like, you know, 3 cents. So it's the value proposition for me is it is already there at that kind of mark. And then I'll really be holding Lumens to see where it gets to, having already made a happy amount of money from my initial investment. That's all I have for you in this video, guys. I hope some of you have found this useful. Some of you Lumens fans out there, I think Lumens gets overlooked a lot. But, you know, you've got to remember they actually have partnerships with governments, such as the Ukrainian government, to try and help them build their CBDC. And I think this is going to spread. I think, you know, the European Bank and the European Central Bank may, you know, imagine if that deal came across. You know, there's lots of ifs and buts associated with this, but I just thought I'd map out an Elliott wave theory, you know, in a different kind of way, and just show you how volatile this can get. That's all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to love and leave you on that note, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching.